Hey, you know what time it is? It is Thursday. It is time for another segment of Money, Miracles, and Magic on Unleashed Alchemy TV. Welcome if you're watching on YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, and all the other amazing podcasting platforms, I am glad you're listening. So let's dive in today's episode. So I'm going to do something a little different today. Now, I'm going to read to you a portion of my book, which is called Tales of a Money Maven: How Religious and Other Programming Has Effed Up Your Money. All right. You can get this on my website in ebook form. All right. I'm going to read to you from page 103. Okay. The first three paragraphs. And we're going to talk, this connects the religious programmed idea of how you tolerate situations that you know it's time for you to elevate beyond. You're tolerating it because you have been taught by religious programming that the more you tolerate, the more you suffer, the more you struggle, the more difficulty you have, the more that you're going to be blessed by some person sitting up in the sky. Okay. And even when you leave and disassociate from religion, that tolerating identity, that I have to tolerate things consciousness, will still operate in your life if you have not pulled the thread on religious programming. All right. This ties into money. So let me get into the book. I'm going to read the first three paragraphs. Is page 103. So I'm going to start here. When we accept less than what we truly desire, it becomes a part of our identity. This tolerance for less than ideal experiences in our careers, businesses, relationships, and finances can lead to a stagnant way of life. It hinders us from exploring new ways to experience life and money beyond what we think we know. In this next paragraph, I give an example of how I related to money in my chase for jobs, my chase for employment. So this goes within the context of what I talked about in the chapter before even getting to this point. So this is why you have to read the book, right? So the periods of the chase for employment that popped up in my life stemmed from what I could see, hence what my ego was familiar with. While growing up, the only significant question was, do you have a job? If the answer was yes, then that was good enough. I accepted low-paying jobs because they were tolerable or because they provided a decent health insurance package. I can remember frequently being asked if I liked a particular job. If I answered no, either one of two things would happen. My response would encourage an onslaught of concerning questions about why I didn't like my job, or I would get a comment formed as a question. Well, can you at least tolerate it? As if tolerating an unpleasant situation is a healthy way to exist. So I'm going to stop right there. And so you tolerate money, all right, in a way that you don't like. You tolerate getting paid what you know that you have outgrown. So you tolerate getting paid at a level that you know it's time for you to elevate beyond. So let's use business, for example. In business, you tolerate not raising your prices. In business, you tolerate clients that you have outgrown. And I'm going to say this may be a little controversial, but clients that you don't like, all right, but you tolerate it because that's what you have been programmed to believe that you have to do. So I want to ask you this question. What are you tolerating in your life right now? What are you gaining from tolerating that situation? I don't care what it is. Remember, we're talking about money here and how we've been programmed with, in this specific example, how we've been programmed to tolerate things. This is an identity that crosses over into every single part of our lives. All right. So, what do you think you're gaining from tolerating what you're tolerating in your life? When you answer those questions, you'll find that you're tolerating someone, something, a situation to keep up with appearances because you're worried about what people will say, and or to maintain an image. Again, because you're worried about what people might say. You'll also find, as you answer the question, I'm going to repeat those questions again before I go. So, what are you tolerating in your life right now? What do you think you're gaining from tolerating that thing? So, you'll find that it's to keep up with appearances, to maintain an image. The other reason is you'll find that you're tolerating something, tolerating a situation, or tolerating someone to keep the peace. But are you at peace on the internal? From the outside looking in, it may appear to be peaceful, but internally you are screaming. Internally, your soul is saying, we have to elevate beyond this. It's time to move beyond this. We don't have to stay in this. To tolerate this situation, whatever this is, it is not a requirement for life. Because you are a conduit of money, of the energy that is money, that energy will take on the form of your consciousness. I'm going to repeat that. Because you are a conduit of money, because you are a conduit of energy, you are energy, the physicalness of money will take on form based on your consciousness. So if you are operating from the identity of one who tolerates, then the energy of money is going to meet that energy and it's going to flow and follow that standard. Okay? Now, this means that as a sovereign being, you get to choose how the energy of money flows in your life. You may have never heard that before. I don't care what the economy says. I don't care what a government says. I don't care what the external shows. As a sovereign being, you get to choose how the energy of money flows in your life. You also get to decide that you did not come here to live as a person who only tolerates life, who only tolerates your existence. You did not come here for that. You do have a say in what comes into your space and what comes into your grid, because again, you are energy. You get to decide that. Because your natural existence, and this is whether or not you believe this right now or not, but I'm guessing if you've made it this far in this episode that you do, because your existence exudes abundance. Your physical body is abundance. Then you know that as a sovereign being, so shall your money exude the same. I'm going to repeat that. That was a command that you can use every day. I don't know if you caught that, but that is an incantation. That is a transformation that you can speak into your water as you drink it and it becomes a part of your cells, it becomes your standard. I'm going to repeat this. Because your existence exudes abundance, because your energy exudes abundance, that is your natural state. Abundance is your natural state. So shall your money exude the same. All right. That is it for today's episode. Don't forget, Tales of a Money Maven. You can get this right now in ebook form on my website. Go to unleashedalchemy.com, click on books, and that book will be available to you as soon as you purchase. It's immediately downloaded to your email. Also, let me say this, in the back of the book, there's over 50 questions that you can ask yourself that will identify the blind spots of how programming has influenced your situation with money and your existence with money. And I did it in journal form where you can write as much as you want to. That writing, the exercise of writing, again, will help you identify the blind spots of where religious programming is still operating in your life and it's affecting and how it's influencing your money. And this is not a self-judgment exercise. This is an awareness, acknowledgement, alchemizing exercise. All right. Because you have to know something that is there. You have to know something exists for it to be alchemized. I'm going to read this incantation again for you. Because your existence exudes abundance, so shall your money exude the same. All right, until next time, be rich.